Welcome to the Builder's Ladder, the Professional Builder podcast, brought to you today by Marty Amos. And today we're interviewing one of our growth advisors, Josh, who's a weapon, and we're going to go through everything and how you can improve your business and take it to the next level. Today we are here with Josh, one of our TPB growth advisors. How are you, my man?
Excellent, mate. Always.
Awesome. Good to see you, brother. So Josh is one of the first people that you connect with when you're exploring how the professional builder can help you transform your building company. And as a growth advisor, Josh is on the front lines helping builders uncover what the core challenges are in their business, what impact it's having, and then what the specific solutions are for your situation and your goals that might help you get to your results that you want in the fastest possible way. Now, before any person becomes a TPB member, Josh guides them through a tailored assessment and goes in depth through your profit and loss, looking at your numbers, then looking at your health audit. So where are the gaps in your business? What are the holes that we need to plug, and in what order for your situation? And then lastly, with thousands of conversations and profit and losses analysed, Josh brings a wealth of insight and knowledge to the building industry. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain and we're going to go deep into what Josh sees are the most common challenges, what those solutions are, and what the biggest mindset shifts you may need to take in order to take your business from where it currently is to where you want to get to in the next 12 months or 5 years. So without any more, Josh, welcome, my man. Great to have you on board. So tell us a little bit about your background, what led you to getting involved with the professional builder and helping advising building company owners on how they can take their business to the next level.
Yeah, absolutely. So a little bit about my background. So I've worked in marketing and sales within our industry for a while, and I transitioned through to more of a coaching-based role in the physical fitness industry. Mm-hmm. And when I sort of transitioned through to you, I thought it was a perfect sort of mixture of both things that I could bring to the table and really enable to sort of help our members in the coaching journey, but also with their sales and marketing, right, which is a huge part of what we do.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's a great analogy. Like we always say, it's a very similar analogy. Having a coach in your business is like having a personal trainer at the gym. So yeah, what do you see as the parallels between having a personal trainer versus having a coach in your business as well?
Yeah, I think one of the big things that I always touch on is accountability, and it's something that I've always sort of wanted in my life and sort of every area that I'm trying to improve. I think having that accountability is someone just to push you when you don't feel like doing it.
Yeah, 100%.
So having a coach is good because a coach can teach you new things and sort of show you the way to go, but a personal trainer is in the trenches with you, really fighting beside you to push you in those days.
Yeah, I think that's what makes our business quite unique is we've got the largest team in the sector with 51 people, and 21 of those are coaches. So we've got specialty coaches to help you guys who own their own building companies throughout New Zealand, Australia, the US. We've then got performance coaches who you have regular weekly sessions with, and each month we go through your numbers and we distill what's working, what's not, what's going to make the business biggest difference. And then probably the closest to a fitness analogy is we have accountability coaches
100%.
that each week will say, Josh, where are you at? How are you going? Mm-hmm. So what's it like being on the front line, and what are the most common challenges that you hear when builders first come to us?
I think one of the biggest challenges that I find from people that I'm speaking with is just lack of clear direction. Like a lot of the guys that come through in the start of the business have sort of decided to, they're great carpenters, they're great chippies or whatever it is, fully qualified, and they think, well, I've seen this business working for somebody else, why can't I do it?
Yeah.
Right?
And like you get taught how to be a great chippy, a carpenter, go and do your apprenticeship, but no one teaches you how to run a great business.
Exactly.
And they're two very different skill sets and mindset shifts. What do you think is the difference between builders who succeed on the program and massively change their business over the next 12 months versus builders who don't?
I think there's a few things. One of the things that I immediately thought of when you asked me that question was people who are willing to put the work in is definitely one of the big things, because we can have all the templates, resources and training and coaching and personal training with the analogy, but if we don't have a direction on sort of where to go, we can really fall down. And if we've got people who have the ability to put the work in, but then people who have the ability to be coached, they're two different kinds of people, right? So the people who are coachable, show up to the sessions, check in with the accountability coaches, and just show up to all the workshops, they're the people that do well.
Yeah, and I guess it's almost like the smarter you are, the more you're prone to, well, I know that, or no, that won't work, or yeah, but I've got a different way of doing that. And it's like, if you're not open to doing things a different way, then you can stay stuck on the same builder's hamster wheel or stay stuck doing the same thing. And if you keep doing the same thing, keep getting the same result. Exactly. So from the countless profit and losses that you review every week, what are the most common financial challenges that you see happen on a recurring basis?
I think the big one is people that just aren't aware of the numbers, right? So when they come to someone like me and we start looking behind the curtain and looking into the profit and loss statement, sometimes it's the first time our builders have seen it in like a year, right?
Yeah.
And they get quite surprised when we go through and show them, like start breaking it down, showing them that things aren't in the right order, things that should be in the cost of goods sold or in the expenses. So it's blowing out their numbers and they're not even really knowing what the margins are.
Yeah, I think those are some of the fundamental ones that you've just mentioned. Number one, I would say 70% of people that come to us don't have their profit and loss set up correctly.
Yeah.
And if it's not set up correctly, you can't get your true gross margin and you can't understand your true golden ratios. So do you want to just walk us through a little bit about the golden ratios and what they are and how they work?
Yeah, so the golden ratios in our industry, basically 10% net profit, 20% gross profit margins, and between 8 to 12% for your overheads, depending on the size of the business, right? So some people have office spaces, equipment and things which will blow the overheads out, but those are what we consider to be the golden ratios.
Exactly. So if you've got a lower gross margin, it means that you're having to work much harder to have any money left over to cover your overheads, your fixed costs, the day-to-day running costs of the business, and then to have a decent net profit that pays for your lifestyle and the hard work and also the risks that you're taking as a business owner.
And it's kind of like a self-fulfilling prophecy too, because if they need to be working harder to sort of bring the profits up that don't seem to be there, they fall into the trap of justifying themselves to work 80 hours a week, 40 hours a week, right, or whatever it might be.
That's a common ththing as well. Like, I'm just used to working 60 or 70 hours.
Yeah,
and
it becomes the new normal.
Yeah. And just like the pot or the frog or the lobster in a pot, as it gets hotter, the water gets hotter, they kind of get used to that. And it's easier. I remember myself when I had a massive overdraft. You kind of, but we're in growth mode and it's always been like this and it's a 12% town. And it's easy to have those limiting beliefs can get in the way of creating a different and vastly better future.
Absolutely. I think that's a point to touch on. A good point is the limiting beliefs that come with that. Like, it's a great analogy about the frog that gets to a boiling point, then all of a sudden it's too late, right? And we do have a lot of people coming through to us at the front end with me who are sort of later stages of the business, perhaps have been in business for 10 years, they've scaled a bit of what we call chaos, and it's sort of just slowly, progressively got worse as they've got busier.
Yeah, that's the problem, right? Like, if you don't have the fundamentals sorted, like if you have a low margin or you're not controlling your work in progress or you don't have good visibility on your labor hours or you have poor project management, then you're only going to scale chaos. You're going to stay stuck on the builder's hamster wheel and just run faster and faster to stay in the same spot. So what do you think are some of the key mindset shifts that members who succeed go through are? What separates them?
Are you a business owner running a residential construction company? If so, save the date. On Thursday and Friday, May the 22nd and the 23rd, we're running our Builders Summit at the Park Hyatt in Auckland. It's the biggest business summit for building company owners in the country. Across 11 expert sessions, we'll show you exactly how to either tweak or overhaul and transform your business into a profitable, streamlined building company. You'll get access to breakthrough strategies that have already helped over 3,000 of our residential members grow their businesses. Plus, just by being in the room, you get over $2,500 in extra bonus resources that you can implement into your business. We've got 100 seats. Many of those are reserved for our members, but you might be able to claim one of the few remaining. What you need to do is go to www.builderssummit.co.nz or click the links below and we'll take you directly there.
I think one of the big ones, and I always talk to members about it, is we have a community of people with TPP, right? And when you surround yourself with people who may or may not have had limited beliefs coming in, when they start seeing other people doing things they thought were impossible, that's a huge mindset shift, right? It's like I always refer to, I forget the guy's name every time, but the guy who ran the mile in under 4 minutes, right? Mm-hmm. It was impossible until someone did it, and then the next day, like 30 people did it. That's a bit of an over-exaggeration.
Was it Roger Bannister?
Something like that, I think, yeah.
It was John Walker was up there running.
Yeah, that's who I thought it was, but it wasn't him.
I think it was Roger Bannister. I'll go with him.
I should really check it because I always say I don't know who the guy's name is, but
yeah. 100%, right? Like, if you think it's not possible to charge for quotes or have the prelim budget process, then that'll be your reality because you'll find supporting evidence on why you can't do it and you won't step out of your comfort zone. And I think that's the difference with having a community of over 1,000 building company owners and general contractors in there, is that you see guys doing it, you get the resources, the template, the script, and the prelim budget agreement. You then talk to the guys that are succeeding, that are like Leon from Melbourne signed up 7 out of 7, got 28K from that. Hayden signed 4 prelim budgets and 4.1 mil worth of work, but got paid for its quoting time. Mm-hmm. So when you see these guys doing it, you see their exact process and you can talk to them. You're like, oh, shit, there is a step-by-step process. I can give it a crack.
Yeah, there is. And it's refreshing to see that. And it sort of shows it's possible for people. But then there's still the sort of getting it done and putting it into action side of it, right? Mm. And I think the big thing about like what we do is we have the structure, the infrastructure there, which is all these little things working together to give them the confidence to know that they can go into a 10% town, sit down and say it's 11, 12%, and just have the confidence knowing they can walk away from it.
Exactly. Right. And I think that's a big thing is you have people around you in the community who are where you're at, people who are 1 or 2 steps ahead who can shine a light on the potholes in the road so you can avoid them. And then your North Star guys who are doing 20, 25, 30 mil, or who maybe are just doing 5 mil, but only work 3 days a week and are doing speckies and some developments on the side.
Yeah, that's a good point because like everyone's North Star is going to be different, right? Some people don't want to scale to 10 mil. Some people just want to have a solid income, solid business, running a well-oiled machine and have all the time to spend with their families,
And everyone's situation is different. Yep. And we're not here to, tell you what direction to go in. We're here to help you get clarity on what you want your business to look like in the next 12 months, where you want to take it over the next 5 years, and then help you put the right plan and help you with the one-on-one coaching and the group coaching to implement those strategies into your business to get there in the quickest time possible.
Exactly.
So what do you think separates the top 5% from all the other builders?
Number one is having a plan. I mean, a lot of people go into this stuff blind and they sort of just wing it and fumble their way through in the dark, as I like to say. And we don't really get taught, as we've already discussed, how to run the business. So having a really clear plan, I think, is one of the biggest things that improves people that I'm talking to's that they can do something like that. So they've got a plan in place, but it's the people that separate from like the top 5% of the people who, again, like have the right systems in place, have everything less reliant on them so that they can step out.
100%. Build a business, not a busy job with overheads.
Exactly, because a lot of guys are always like, they say that I'm wearing all the hats. Like, well, what does that mean, right? And when you dig into it, they're responsible for the sales process, the estimating process, going on site, doing the quoting, and then they're just like, I don't know how I'm working 80 hours a week.
And then they're doing contract administration at night.
Exactly.
And it's like, we have each of those roles mapped out from our members. So we have the job description. We have the perfect structure of their week for what they should be doing. We have the scorecard of what the KPIs are. How do you know if they're succeeding? And also what they should be remunerated. So what's the pay rate and what are the incentives that should be put in place? So I think when you have that infrastructure, it helps give you a confidence for hiring people because you can have them set up to hit the ground running and you're not like, well, so hard to find good guys, or I can't hire anyone decent on site, or if I leave site, it all turns to shit.
Yeah, you touched on a good point there, and that would be another thing I would say is that the team that you're building around you. Like, we have an analogy at TPB about our team being a sports team, right? Highly performing, everyone's working towards the common goal, and a lot of people fall into the trap of having a family atmosphere or, friends that are working for them and wonder what's going on and don't realize that they're attracting that stuff into the business. If you have all those things like the role scopes clearly defined, KPIs, so accountability measures on site, all of those things before you even bring someone through with a hiring process, so that it's there, they hit the ground running, but they know exactly what they're responsible for and the accountability measures that come with that, and worked into like a career progression through the business or like a bonuses and benefits scheme.
Exactly. Like, do they have a scorecard? Do they have a career progression? Do you have regular meetings every week?
Yeah.
Are you displaying the numbers? So is the forecast versus actual for the labour hours? In the toolbox meetings, do the guys know what the next progress milestone they need to get hit so that the business owner gets paid on time, so that pay the wages on time? So if you don't have that, let alone career progression, 20-minute sit-downs once a month and quarterly reviews, then it's very difficult for your team to have absolute confidence that you have a well-structured business that isn't lurching from one chaotic, episode to the next.
Yeah, 100%.
So many builders come to us when they first come to TPB, they might feel a bit overwhelmed or a bit burnt out. What mindset shifts do you see in building company owners that start with us in the first sort of 90 days? Because our wins channel is popping off with like 5 to 10 wins posted in every day. It's awesome.
Yeah, so I think a big one is we run a launch session in the first sort of couple of coaching sessions that we do. And one of those things we go through and we sort of categorize each task that each member's doing throughout the day and sort of run it through a series of questions. We call it the stop doing list, right? And this is designed to get our members back some time, to free them up, but also give them more time to be able to invest into a coaching program, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the biggest things. They can start to see that, this business doesn't really need me there. I can delegate this, or I can put a system in place to lighten the load for me. And they can really start stepping through, because we have these identity shifts, right, from busy builder through to business owner. And a lot of people are struggling to go through that glass ceiling. So having that time back, they can start to see that, maybe I can work on the business during this time and not need to do it at night or on the weekends.
Yeah, what you've said there, that's a massive shift. So there's skills that you need to gain, and then there's the identity shift. So the skills around clear vision, pricing, sales, marketing, systems on site, project management to run a cohesive professional building company. And then you need to be able to evolve your identity from builder to business owner to entrepreneur. And if you stay stuck at the builder mindset as you grow instead of the business owner, then you'll keep getting pulled back onto site. You'll try and put out all the fires yourself, as opposed to building systems, training your team how to run them, and putting in place a reporting structure so you can see the numbers to make the decisions based on that. And you'll build a prison that you grow to, hate. And if you find yourself going away on holiday and thinking, shit, I'm thinking about the business, or I come home at night and I'm there, but I'm not really present with my wife and family.
Yeah, that's a huge point. And I talk to people about that all the time. Like, it's the quality of time that you're having outside of your work or your business, right? So you can go away on holiday. Like, some guys get the luxury of going away for a couple of weeks, but they're not there. They're still worrying about things going wrong. They're worrying about what the apprentice is going to do and how he's going to mess it up again. This, XYZ, insert the story here, but their mind's still ticking along. So having things like we've been talking about with systems and structures, so they know that if something does go wrong, then, there's a system in there that we can look at, rather than worrying about what the person's doing. They can keep going about their day.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Why is it important to be able to step back from the day-to-day and focus on working on rather than in all the time?
Well, we've already sort of touched on one of them, which is that you're just creating a busy job if you're in the trenches all day. And you could quite easily go and be a project manager or something and take 150K home, right? And not worry about it on the weekends.
Yeah.
But we're taking on the risk of the business and all of that. So stepping out of that and becoming more of a business owner gives you a focus towards the growth of the business rather than the day-to-day operations, right?
Exactly. And a great saying that I've heard, 80% done is 100% awesome. 80% done by someone else is 100% awesome. And I think if you take that mindset, we put in place the guardrails, the systems, the process, the SOPs, and we have over 300 in our business to help you with everything from pricing, back costing in real time, everything, on-site, office procedures. I think that helps give you the confidence that I don't need to be across everything. I can put in place the systems to build a business rather than a busy job.
Yeah, and just on that too, we've got all the systems and everything. The thing is, it's all templated. You know, so it's all in the background where we just like, you sit down with a coach and we go through it, help you through it, and then help you actually implement it into the business.
Yeah.
You know, so it's not like we're giving templates out and go, good luck with that. It's really more of a, like we're talking about the personal trainer side of things, sitting with you, sitting with our members, going through the template, chopping and changing it, and showing you how to roll it out into the business.
Exactly. So after all the conversations and all the profit and losses that you've seen, what's one piece of advice that you would give to every building company owner out there?
Check your numbers at least once a month.
100%. And what specifically should they be looking for or looking at when they are checking their numbers?
So the three main numbers: net profit, gross profit, and your expenses, right?
Yep.
If the net profit's good, there's not a lot you need to look at further to that. But if the net profit's lacking, or if it's not where you thought it would be, where you want it to be, then we need to figure out why the case is. And that will go into your gross profit margins and the operating expenses to see where we're going wrong.
Exactly. 100%. I couldn't agree more. And what would your advice be out there for a building company owner who maybe feels stuck, or they've been going okay, but they're not getting the results that they want, or they, are just frustrated with where they're at? What would you say to them?
I would say reach out to someone. The building industry, our industry, is very tight-lipped, and you can become very isolated in our industry. So I'd say reach out to someone that is doing things that you want to be doing, see how they're doing things, have a chat to them, join communities, or even like just have a chat with people like us.
Exactly. It doesn't have to be this way. Someone out there's already solved this problem.
Yep.
There's a community that you can, like if you want to become a great swimmer, you can try and figure it out on your own, or you could join a swim squad.
Yep.
You're going to be in the pool with, 10 or 12 other swimmers. You're going to be sitting with them at breakfast. You're going to be talking better stroke, better techniques, and you're going to learn the mindset of elite swimmers, and you're going to be on the same nutrition plan and path, and you're going to start to get similar results and accelerate quicker than you could on your own. And I think that's one of the biggest things that we do is we accelerate people to win faster by being in a community and a high-performing environment.
Yeah, no, I completely agree.
All right, it's been a pleasure today, my man.
Same. Likewise, man.
Always great talking.
Always.